The prince kissed her right in front of the queen. That's the part that everyone remembers. And yeah, I saw it with my own eyes. I was about 10 feet away, holding a paper bag of kettle corn and trying to stay warm. It was October, chilly but clear, and I remember thinking how weird it was that royalty would come down to a dusty little county festival like ours. I've lived in Oak Bend my whole life. Not much happens here. You get up, you go to work, you go home. Maybe if you're lucky, you go to the lake in summer or the diner on Friday nights. We've got a palace on the hill, sure, but it never felt real. More like a tourist photo than something people from here actually think about. Anyway, this was the big day of the fall festival. You know the one. Pumpkin carving, pie contests, hair rides, all that. I'd been working the kettle corn stand since sunrise. Long hours, sticky fingers, cold air. Not glamorous, but people love their snacks. That morning, folks started whispering that Prince Mason was gonna come down and walk around. Usually he stays in his carriage or just waves from the balcony like he's in a movie or something. But this year, they said he wanted to be with the people. Whatever that means. I wasn't paying much attention at first. Too busy serving popcorn and trying not to freeze. But around noon, I saw her. She wasn't like the other girls there. Most were all dressed up, trying to catch attention: makeup, perfect hair, tight jeans. Nothing wrong with that. But this girl, she looked like she didn't want to be seen. Ponytail falling apart, plain sweatshirt, ripped jeans, muddy shoes. She was carrying a tray of hot cider samples, walking slow like she was trying not to trip. She passed by my booth and dropped a napkin. I picked it up and handed it to her. She barely looked at me, just kind of nodded and whispered, "Thanks." Voice like a whisper of wind. I watched her for a second as she kept walking. She looked tired. Sad, maybe. But real. Didn't think much of it until 20 minutes later, when the crowd started moving. Prince Mason had arrived. He looked exactly like he does in the magazines. Tall. Sharp suit. Perfect hair. Bodyguards all around him, people screaming his name like he was some pop star. Everyone wanted a picture, a wave, something. And right there, in the middle of the mess, was that cider girl. I saw him stop. He just stopped walking. Looked straight at her, like she was the only person in the whole place. She froze. Eyes wide. I could tell she had no idea what to do. He said something to her. She shook her head. Then he said something else, and she laughed. Not fake polite laughter. Not the kind you use when you're scared of looking dumb. It was short, loud, almost like she didn't mean to do it. Like he surprised her. That's when Queen Margaret came out of the palace tent. You know that look your mom gives you when you've done something she told you not to do, in front of guests? That was the Queen's face. Lips pressed so tight they disappeared. She marched up with her chin in the air, like she was walking through fog she didn't want to breathe. The crowd got quiet. Like really quiet. People backed up, making room. I could feel the air go cold, not from the weather, but from the tension. Everyone was thinking the same thing. What is this poor cider girl doing, standing next to the prince? But the prince didn't look scared. He didn't even look nervous. He turned to the queen, said something I couldn't hear, and then looked back at the girl. And right there, in front of everyone, he kissed her. Not a long kiss. Just a soft one. Quick. But it felt like time stopped. The cider tray dropped. I remember hearing the cups hit the ground and roll. Some kid gasped. A lady near me said, "Oh my God." The queen didn't move. She just stood there, hands clenched, eyes fixed on her son. Then the noise came back. The crowd started clapping. Cheering. Some people started recording on their phones. It felt like watching a TV show, but it was right here. Real. I had goosebumps. The girl looked stunned. Like someone had pulled her out of a dream. She tried to pick up her tray, but the prince helped her. They said a few more words, and then he walked her to the cider booth. Later that day, I asked one of the cider guys who she was. He said her name was Ellie. 19. Lives in town with her mom and little brother. Her dad passed away a couple years back. She took the cider job to help pay the heating bill. They said she almost didn't come to work that day. Said she felt too tired. But she showed up anyway. Next morning, people were still talking about it. The news was all over it. Prince Mason breaks tradition, they said. A commoner's kiss. People ate it up. But the part no one really saw, except maybe me, was what happened after. Next afternoon, he came back. No guards. No cameras. Just a hoodie and jeans. I saw him standing outside the cider booth, waiting like a regular guy. She came out, smiling shy this time. They walked off together, holding 2 cups of cider. No kiss that time. Just a quiet walk toward the lake trail. And now, I hear they still see each other. Sometimes he drives down in a regular car. No fanfare. Just a guy trying to get to know a girl. So yeah. That's the story. No magic. No castles or glass slippers. Just 2 people meeting by chance. Or maybe fate. I don't know. But I do know this, sometimes love shows up when you're not looking for it. And when it does, it doesn't care who you are or how much money you've got. It just happens.